This is TWiT.
Supply chain. Has that eased up? How did supply chain, Paul, hit the PC market?
Sorry. It didn't, Leo, because PC sales fell through the floor. So
there you go.
No, actually, there are a lot of indications that this is starting to ease up, depending on the market.
But that's maybe why the sales fell through the floor, or was it lack of demand?
No. This was just a post-pandemic hangover.
Because Apple said, we could have sold more computers if we could have just made them.
Well,
but they did the following
car
quarter.
Sales. The same thing happened with car sales, right?
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get the chips in order to make the cars.
Ford was shipping trucks without some chips.
Sony now expects to sell more PlayStation 5s this month, actually, thanks to this lightening up, I guess. So,
okay.
Yeah, it depends. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at the PC industry. It's just...
It's tempting, I understand.
Yeah.
But supply chain certainly was a story that went on throughout the year, but you think now it's kind of...
I think we're still going to see issues, into next year for sure. But it depends on the market and the product.
Right.
I think it absolutely does make sense to have more than a single source of these things. The idea of a building fab in the U.S., thank you. I'm glad this happened.
We got used to a certain level of reliability with getting whatever we wanted whenever we wanted it. And I think that might be over. But I think it eases up. I don't know that we ever go back to where we were before.
Yeah. It's kind of tied also to China's zero COVID policy. A lot of factories were closed down, and then more recently, workers started rioting. The Chinese government last week turned back on its zero COVID policy and said, never mind. The doors are open. Please get a vaccine.
We spent the past 15 to 20 years making China the most efficient and cheapest place to make anything. And now the whole world is trying to back out of there. So we have so we have multiple sources for products.
Right.
And
is that going to work, though? I understand. I mean, Apple and others are saying we're going to manufacture in India, in Brazil, in Vietnam. But, of course, there's some concern also about the future of Taiwan, which right now is another place. TSMC is a Taiwanese company that chips are manufactured. But is it going to work? Can Apple, which has 300,000 workers in iPhone City in Zhengzhou, China, building iPhones, can they somehow move that to the U.S.?
No. But I think Apple is the test case for this, right? The poster child, because they are so prominent and so big. And they have said publicly, I believe,
they want to do it.
This is going to take they want to do it, but it's going to take a while. This is not. You don't just flip a switch and iPhones are coming out of Vietnam or whatever. Right. It's hard.
The other really interesting thing is all the saber rattling that China's doing with regard to Taiwan. China needs the chips from TSMC just as much as the rest of the world does. And if you've ever looked at the fab inside TSMC, it is the most fragile technology that we have ever created on the planet. I mean, you can't sneeze within a block of that facility and not have it completely blow your process. So there's no way that China can be aggressive toward Taiwan without risking totally shutting down the global supply of chips. And they can't afford that any more than we can.
Right. You know what's interesting too, though, is it's not just the technology industry. I was talking to a board member of a drywall company, and the pressure on them to disconnect from China. The entire push over the last, as you said, Paul, 15 years is let's do everything in China. Let's move everything in China. Let's make it cheaper. Let's help the economy. And now there's tremendous political pressure to cut off those ties. And it's happening across the economy. And it's not going to be easy. And I don't know that it's going to happen.
Does all the gypsum come from China?
I don't know where gypsum comes from. I just know that he cares about white powder.
It comes from Staten Island.
You know, by the way, one thing I learned is that kaolin is what coats a slick paper stock to make it so slick.
Yeah.
It fills in all of the, right?
Yeah.
It's the kaolin capital of the world is in Georgia. Right. And a little known fact is because kaolin is slightly radioactive, magazines have a half-life.
Oh my God. And don't sleep with a magazine.
No.
And Paul, that
the
means
magazine.
over there to your left, you're in trouble because you've got every Byte magazine.
He's got
ever
them
made.
all. I think they've all emanated as much cowlin.
These are old. These are made of asbestos.
Yeah, those are safe.
They may be pre-cowlin.
Exactly.
Fortunately, I have the Gypsum stats to hand.
Oh,
And
okay.
China is, in fact, by far the largest producer of gypsum in the world. 144 million metric tons. The number 2, 16 million, and that's Iran.
That's Iran, which ain't a picnic itself.
I think there is a gypsum ban, isn't there?
Crisis a coming.
Yeah, we got a gypsum crisis on our hands. We only
axis
produce
of
15 million
gypsum.
tons of gypsum a year. We got to get on that.
That's the sheetrock business, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Drywall, right?
Yeah.
I
What's plaster made of?
Paris, I believe. I may be wrong on that. Doc has sent in the chat room, sent us a link to marine traffic. I don't know if
Incredible. If you zoom in on anywhere, it's just amazing what it shows.
Does this give you
Different
some
kinds
idea of
ships.
why we have a supply chain shortage? Does it show you all the boats stuck
I
outside
love
Long
going up
Beach?
the Mississippi.
Yeah.
Well,
What are
there
the
are
colors?
fewer stuck outside Long Beach than there used to be. I know that because I flew over it a few days ago. I thought, where did all the boats go?
It's not that bad. Yeah.
And Newark, when I flew in today to Newark, usually you see boats right there by the IKEA as you're coming down the runway, and I didn't see as many. So there you go. It's just one view.
What do the colors mean, Doc? Do you know?
What's that?
What do the
colors mean?
Oh, the color. Some are oil. Some are
that's
are
interesting.
barges, like the blue ones that are on the Ohio River, and all of those are barges. I think.
This is cool. I can
the
add,
red ones I think are
add
oil.
weather to it.
Is Elon's yacht on this?
Probably.
Yeah.
But they have, and actually, if you click on one, it'll tell you. Like, here's a tanker. The red one's a tanker. This blue one is let's see here, a cargo vessel.
Oh, look at that.
It's really cool.
Picture even, geez.
And there's an app. There's an app for your phone as well, and of course, it's a freemium thing. This is the free version. But I mean, you can see where the boats were made. Like the cruise boats are on here. I think those are the big blue ones are cruise boats.
Those are the brown boats over here. Yeah. I should say. Look, that's a fishing boat. Wow.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
this is
fishing
cool.
boats.
This is nice. Marinetraffic.com. Oh, look at a little tugboat there. Yeah.
Yeah, tugboats there too. Yeah.
Oh.
It's anything that they can locate by satellite, anything that's communicating by satellite. And a lot of them have to. They have to let their.
This is like that air traffic locator. This is
it's a lot like that. Yeah, like FlightAware has something.
Yeah, I love
to
FlightAware. Yeah,
and Flight Radar 24 is really cool too. You can see what's flying overhead.
Good. We're going to create a new account on Mastodon, Leo's Tug, and you'll know where my tugboat is at all times.
You have kind of a tugboat personality.
I do. And so I've always wanted a tugboat.
Yeah. Tugboat Leo, like Tugboat
always
Annie.
wearing a
Remember
knit
Tugboat
hat
Annie?
for some
That was the
reason.
thing.
It's a children's story, soon to be a Christmas classic.
Tugboat Leo. I think I can.
Yeah,
I think
so-
The little tugboat with the Santa hat. And here comes the evil green submarine, the Grinch.
I
coming
love
after
it. We could write this right now.
Yeah.
Is that an iPhone in your hand? Wait a second. Is that an Apple Watch on your wrist? And do I see an iPad sitting there on the table? Oh my goodness! You are the perfect person to be watching iOS Today, the show where Rosemary Orchard and I, Micah Sargent, talk all things iOS, tvOS, watchOS, HomePodOS. It's all the OSs that Apple has on offer, and we show you how to make the most of those gadgets. Just head to twit.tv/iOS to check it out.